What's going on? What's going on? How are you all doing? Listen, I know I have this, in case you're wondering, I know I have this sweater on backward. There's a reason for that. First of all, it's a little chilly in here. And second of all, I'm at work and I don't want to expose the company that I'm working for because as long as I am working for this company and I show their logo, I'm representing that company. That is, I would say the perfect segue into why I'm doing this video. If you're on social media, let me ask you a question. Are you a person who is trying to build a business or a following, or or are you positioning yourself as a leader in your company? Just my observation. I've seen a few things that are kind of painful to watch I've seen it and I'm observing and after a recent conversation I had with someone, uh, I thought it was time to share some information to stop hiding. I was that was a question that was posed before me, so I felt it was a good question, and I thought it was maybe I wasn't being fair or right in not sharing what I've learned. And especially since I'm observing this so much now on social media. One of the main mediums that I use on social media is Facebook. But the question I want to ask is, are you trying to build a business? Are you trying to create a following? Or are you positioning yourself as a leader? And uh, and then I want to go into this as an example. I want to use. Let me see. I want to use maybe sports right now. Maybe athletes. Maybe athletes. Have you ever noticed that an athlete who has people who are, let's say, they're representing a company, could be shoes, could be clothing, could be stores, could be drinks, could be a number of things, but they represent that company. Nike is known for representing or doing deals with athletes. Now, whenever that athlete does something or even says something that brings a negative light on the company, they usually pull the contract. And it can be on social media. They'll pull the contract and they won't do business with that person because it brings or reflects a bad image on the company. And there's millions of dollars that are being spent on advertising to put a good idea, a good image um, in front of the consumer or in the consumer's mind. There are millions being spent to have a consumer to feel about the company a certain way. And so when someone does something that sheds a negative light, the company is losing, in their mind, they're losing money, or they don't want that person to represent them, so they'll pull the contract. Now, what does that got to do with anything? A lot. If you're a leader in social media and you're representing yourself, because you can easily say from what I just said, well, I'm independent, I work for myself, I don't report to anybody. That's why I'm in this industry. Absolutely correct. Now, you're representing yourself. You have the right to say and do whatever you want to do. And again, this is not for everyone. This is only for those who are trying to build a business or following or positioning themselves as a leader. Couple of things. Can you imagine yourself opening a store, grand opening? You're opening a store, and you put caution tape around the building, around the front door, or you barricade the door, but you're putting up a grand opening sign, but at the same time, you're barricading the door, um, you're putting up caution tape around the door. Okay. Let's just say you did that the first day. Would you even consider yourself doing that? Would you expect people to come in? Let's just say the second day. Let's just skip. Let's just say first week, first month. Could you consider yourself doing that? And then go spend money on advertising, money on gathering product, or for your inventory. Could you imagine yourself doing that? And while you're doing that, putting up caution tape, red flags, barricading your door. Could you imagine yourself doing that? That's what's going on social media. Because what's happening is when a person represents themselves, they are independent business owners, independent distributors. When they represent themselves and they are sending out signs to people that they are a certain type of person. Their personality is one who is they're always complaining. They're always finding fault. They're very negative. Um, they're not a very attractive person. Not only that, but they're not offering value. They're not giving you anything to enhance you or to make you get an aha and a nugget to take away so you can build your business. There's nothing really coming from this person that that you would really want to do business with. You know, this is what I've seen from social media for a while now, and it's really tiring. See, here's the thing. Right now, with the whole election thing coming up, I could tell you I've seen things, I've heard people get on social media, voice their rant, and I won't say anything. I'll just sit and observe. I'll sit and observe. But I know this. I would not do business with that person or those people. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why not? I don't want that negative energy into my organization. I don't want that cancerous spirit. I don't want that in my organization. I wouldn't want them to come in and start doing that and tear down my organization. See, there's a see, our business is it's network marketing. It's business, but it's personal development disguised as a business. See, we are the business. We are the product, and we are what people are attracted to because see, here's the deal. Even if someone likes the product, they don't have to get it through you. See, a lot of people post products and they wonder why no one's buying. First of all, a lot of people want to see that the product actually works. There are a variety of reasons, but here's the deal. If you are a very negative person, or if you're a person that they really wouldn't want to deal with, especially off of social media, if you're not a very attractive person in that way, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're doing exactly what I just mentioned earlier. You're showing that your doors are open, but then you're putting caution tape around your door. You're telling people to caution, watch out for this person. They're very they're loose cannon. They may blow in any minute. I don't want to deal with the person that doesn't make me feel good. And in your mind you may be right about what you say, but maybe they don't see it your way. And again, people spend millions of dollars to persuade people to feel a certain way. And there are even jobs that will fire people based on something that they did or said on social media. Again, you see, I have my sweater here turned inside out. A couple of reasons, as I said, is a little chilly in here. But not only that, but I represent a company at this point in time, and unless I want to get terminated for doing this, um, I know not to show their logo because I represent them right now. As I said, this is something that that needs to be understood. If you're positioning yourself as a leader, you should show people something that would make them. You should stand out. First of all, it should be attractive, but you should stand out. How do people feel when they leave you? When they are around you, how do they feel? Do you raise their vibrations, or do you make them feel bad? There's a lot of issues that is going on right now in the world, in the United States, in the world, that people, they know about, and a lot of it is news. But see, here's the deal: we are not in that industry. You're not in that industry where you've got to get the news first, or you've got to get breaking news. That's not what we do. What we do is build relationships with people. There's a lot of things that a lot of things have happened in the past couple of years. A lot of things are very hurtful, and they can drag you into that rabbit hole. But see, here's the deal. What are we going to do about those things? If we want to address those things, then we should pick a platform and address those things. But see, when you get into those sensitive areas that will offend some people, you can offend your business. And so we have to choose which path we want to go on. Because see, there are, I'm just going to use this as a rough, well, no, I don't want to bring up his name, but there are a lot of very wealthy businessmen. Let's just say you go on Shark Tank. You don't see these guys talking about current issues, not necessarily, unless and these guys are very wealthy. But most often they don't talk about these issues. What I did was I took a look at Facebook. I step back, and as they say, observe the masses and do the opposite. I took a step back and looked at Facebook, and I said, let me see what the leaders are doing in this industry. And I noticed one thing right away. The leaders are target specific to their goal. Whatever their goal is, they target that and they post based on that agenda. They don't post a lot of crazy stuff. I understand there's some that, they mix it up to some extent. But what I'm saying is they don't have a lot of things that are conflicting, things that are offensive. They don't post those kinds of things because it's not productive. And I'm positive they have their thoughts about all of these ideas that's going on or things that are happening right now in the world. But they don't post those things, because they understand that, I have a following. People respect me, and if I do something, I'm going to offend someone. Someone I'm going to post, I'm going to put that yellow tape around my door, and I'm going to run off some people. Now, as I said, I don't know if I said this before. I've covered a lot of things, but there are people I just won't do business with because of what they've said. Listen, I respect that. I can't change that, and I'm not going to try to change that. But I know who you are now. You've told me who you are. And if the person that you're talking about is a person that I feel is a reckless person, and they have values that are conflicting to mine, then in my mind, that tells me that you're sort of like that person. And I don't want that in my organization. Because now you put yourself in that person's shoes, even though you may not be like that person, but now you've positioned yourself to be an advocate of that person because you felt so adamantly about that person, And so this makes me, as they say, there are certain topics that you really shouldn't go into, and, that's each his own to how they deal with that. I don't want to even go in too much into even that, but that's the point of this video. I'm actually already 15 minutes nearly in. So I hope I gave some nuggets, some takeaways, something to really think about, because Oftentimes, what you say can stay on social media a long time, a long time, and it will actually damage your business. And oh yeah, well, we have one more thing. Okay, even if you should find some people that agree with you, even if you build an organization of people that agree with you, and you are posting things that are aggressive or mean or that have a certain agenda, you basically just created a lynch mob. That's what you've gathered, a lynch mob. And what do lynch mobs do? So that's what you've created. Now, again, that's not in line with being a business owner. You've created a mob. And even if you build a large organization, the question is, how long will that organization last? You know, because the name of the game is duplication. You're trying to duplicate yourself, but to do that, you've got to personally develop. I'm not saying this all has to happen up front, but over a period of time, you have to go through personal development. And that's one thing that I'm noticing in the industry is there are a lot of people that are not going through personal development. How do I know? Because you can tell. You can tell. I've heard a leader say this, $1 million earner say that. You can tell how a person stands, how he dresses, how he carries himself, conversations that he's having. You can tell the type of person that is going through personal development. You can actually tell by the people that associate themselves with that person, how others speak of you. You can tell people that are going through personal development. They're not going to be posting a lot of things that are inflammatory or damaging to the company or to their reputation. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're constantly working on improving themselves, realizing that we all have faults. We've all got things that we need to improve on. We've all got something more that we can learn about our business. So to have others constantly throwing rocks, throwing shade at other people is indicative of the fact that we ourselves are not going through personal development, but we're teaching it. See, all of the posts, all of the clever sayings, the quotes, all of that stuff, and it looks great. And a lot of them are, there may be some people that may actually get more out of it than the person that posted it because they may be going through personal development. But you can tell someone that is not going through personal development regardless of how much they post. If their posts are positive and that's not their personality, they will know. And it's not about titles. It's not about titles. I'm filling this thing full of different things right now, but it's not about titles because see, here's the deal: you can reach a certain rank in your company, and if you're not duplicating yourself, if you're not bringing other people in, then really you haven't reached that level. Wow, my light's just timed out on me. Give me just a second here. Let me see if I can fix this. I don't even want to stop it. I just want to keep this going. Okay. I just want to keep this going. So again, even if you have reached a certain level, a certain rank, here's what I've noticed. There are people that reach a certain rank, but they're not content because they haven't duplicated themselves. They don't have that following. And because people have signed on to them because of a rank that they once had, because of who they thought they were, but they haven't went through and done the actual work to build that organization, to create value in their organization. So they're not getting paid because we get paid when you get paid. So if they're not doing that, then they're not making money and they're going to leave. They're going to leave. So listen again, I went further than I was actually intending on going, but I hope I gave some nuggets. I hope I gave something to really think about. Be nice on social media. Be nice. Be a nice person in life. If you're a leader, follow up. Be who you say you are. Be who you say you are. As a leader, your job is to actually not to, you don't really get the right to complain as a leader or a visionary, because as a entrepreneur, our job is to be creative, to create visions, to create a lifestyle, to give people something to look forward to because they see what the alternative is. So our job is to give them something positive, to give them a life, or to show them that there is a way that they can actually create and redo, what they don't like. So once again, 20 minutes in. Listen, y'all have an awesome, amazing day. And I'll talk to you soon again on the next video. It's Michael Becton. And remember this, it's your turn. It's my turn. It's our turn. You join me. Let's take this message to the world. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.